Well, hey guys, how are you? It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is so good to be with you on another fine day. It is Thursday. We're playing around with the times, morning, early afternoon. Great to be with you, though. We have an amazing topic this week, which is how to study smarter and not harder. Incidentally, we are on series 4. In case you're wondering, we're celebrating being on the air over 3 years, and do want to shout out to our friends over at BronxNet for accepting our program recently. We've been on the air with them a few weeks. We have a program on every Friday, which is our tech program, and then every Saturday at 5 p.m. We're also on the air. So definitely check them out if you're in New York, in New York City. Welcome everyone to Inspirations for Your Life. Great to have you here. Today's master topic is how to run a successful study group. We're giving you all the key topics, ladies and gentlemen, to be successful in your studies because let's face it, some colleges and some environments where you're studying, they unfortunately are not providing these resources. Why? There's lots of reasons. I won't go into that here on the show, but I want to give you the tools so that you can be the most successful you can and ace your classes and also to own the material, not just pass tests, right? All right. So, how to run a successful study group, series 4, show 7, episode number 6. Welcome, 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 everyone. If you've ever joined a study group that turned into a social hour or worse, left you more confused than before, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and this is Inspirations for Your Life. I'm not only a podcast coach, but I'm a podcast host, and welcome. It doesn't have to be that way. A well run study group can boost your understanding, keep you accountable, and make learning more engaging. But success doesn't just happen. It takes structure, strategy, and the right mindset. In this episode of Inspirations for Your Life, I'm going to share some tips on how to run a study group that actually helps you learn, whether you're tackling a tough subject, preparing for an exam, or just looking for a way to stay motivated. These 10 steps that I'm going to share with you will help you turn a study group into a powerful learning tool. So grab your notes, get ready to level up your study game, and let's dive in. Oh, don't forget to get that snack or beverage if you'd like to do that. I don't want you to be parched or to be, you know, wondering where your food is. So here we are, 10 keys to running a successful study group. Number 1, set clear goals and expectations. Promises expectations. A great study group starts with a clear purpose. Are you reviewing key concepts, preparing for an exam, or completing assignments together? Establishing these goals or promises up front helps everyone stay focused, set expectations for attendance, participation, and preparedness to ensure everyone contributes to the group's success. So, again, that might sound like a really simple one, and it is. But if you have people that don't understand what the group's about or why you're forming, then that can be a big problem, a really, really big problem. So, again, these tips I hope will really help you. And I hope that you'll choose to employ them because they're really very, very powerful. All right, everyone. So, number 2, choose the right group. Members. A study group is only as strong as its members, so find people who are serious about learning, motivated, and willing to contribute. Having a mix of strengths and weaknesses within the group can create balance, and some members might excel at certain topics while others need support. Avoid forming groups with close friends if you know it will lead to distractions. That's important. It's not the time to be playing on your cell phone or your other smart device. It's not the time to be playing a video game. It's the time to focus. Number 3, establish a regular meeting schedule. Consistency is key to success. Now, I know, especially with college, we can't always pick a set time. People are busy, but it's important that you schedule time consistently. So it doesn't have to be the same day, but at least you know that you're getting together at least once or twice a week. That's important to know. So consistency is the key to success. Decide on a fixed schedule that works for everyone. But if you can't, then just commit to making sure you meet, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or leading up to the major exams. Keep sessions structured and time-bound to prevent meetings from dragging on without productivity. A clear start and an end time will keep everyone engaged and, of course, efficient. Sometimes, when you have a lot to cover and you don't know how long it's going to take, like we have one coming up tomorrow, Friday. And so the big thing about it is, what do you do, right? How long is it going to be for? Maybe you don't know how long it's going to be for. The important thing is to realize that you have to get what you need to get done. That's really important. Number four, select an effective study environment. I typically recommend our library at the school. That's a great place. And not sitting somewhere out in public where people can just bother and distract you. You want to go to like a study pod or a room, or preferably a room that's soundproof, and one that has a large screen TV. If your college or your institution has that, definitely take advantage and make sure that you reserve early, because many people will reserve the day of and be unhappy because they don't have space. So reserve early. Your surroundings can impact your focus. Choose a location time that is great. Make sure that the location will be quiet, well lit, free from any distractions. Libraries, study lounges, or quiet cafes can be great options. If meeting online, ensure everyone has a stable internet connection and a quiet place to participate. A comfortable setting makes a big difference in learning effectiveness. So, why not set the stage right early? Assign roles and responsibilities. Giving everyone a role creates structure and accountability. Assign a moderator to keep discussions on track, a note taker to summarize key points, and a timekeeper to manage study sessions. Rotating roles each session ensures everyone stays engaged and benefits from different perspectives. The way I like to run a study session is that, we all kind of do everything. We're all accountable. We decide we're each going to pick a chapter or a section, and we kind of go around the room or the table with, like I'll answer one, another person will answer this one, and we'll go around. If anybody has a question, then we'll go over it. Okay, that's probably a great way, and it's a way not to waste time. So that's really important. Number six, utilize active learning techniques. Simply reading through notes isn't enough. Use interactive methods like teaching each other, working through practice problems, or creating flashcards. Engaging with material in different ways helps retain information more effectively and make study sessions more dynamic. So why not do that, everyone? All right, utilize active learning. Number seven, encourage open communication and participation. A study group should be a safe space where everyone feels comfortable asking questions and sharing ideas. Encourage active discussions, ask clarifying questions, and make sure all voices are heard. If someone is dominating the conversation, politely guide the discussion to ensure balanced participation. That is really important. It's also not the place to be talking about everything you've done last weekend or what you're going to be doing this weekend. It's important to focus on plans that you're working on for your class. All right. Number eight, leverage technology and study aids. You can use digital tools to enhance your learning. Apps like Quizlet for flashcards, Google Docs for shared notes, Zoom if you're doing remote, or other types of platforms. Discord for virtual messages, or I happen to like Slack a lot. It's a lot more secure. It can make studying more efficient. Online resources like Khan Academy and YouTube tutorials are academic databases, can also provide additional insights into complex topics. And it's important to utilize these early and often. So sometimes you need to hear something in a different voice, or you need to be presented something in a different way, and then it will just stick. Monitor progress and adjust strategies. Regularly assess how well your study sessions are working. Are members retaining information? Are goals being met? If something isn't working, whether it's the structure, pace, or the format, be open to adjusting it. Gather feedback from members to improve effectiveness and keep things fresh. Number 10, keep sessions engaging and motivational. Study doesn't have to be boring. Add elements of fun like friendly quizzes, challenges, or small rewards for participation. Celebrate progress and achievements to keep morale high. A motivated group is a productive group, and making learning enjoyable helps everyone stay committed. I know the study sessions I run, I really enjoy. The ones that I attend and I don't really, you know, let's say the one that actually runs them, they're not as effective. And I wind up not going to those very much. But the ones that I run, and everyone else knows that when I run a study session, it's here to benefit everyone. Because I don't know if you know this, but when you teach something, you actually have to learn it a couple different times. So you have to learn it once, and then you have to learn it again when you're teaching it back. So these are important things. And let's just go through these points, because I think even though they seem simple, many people just don't do them. And the reason they don't do them is, well, they haven't really put insight or thought into the fact that they might make the difference for a world. And so that's an important thing to understand. If you understand that, then life suddenly changes. And so I think sometimes people get frustrated when they can't, you know, go past A or B. And that's not to say it's bad. It's just to say that we have to find ways that are going to make learning fun. We have to find ways that are going to get us to want to engage with the material. This is also very important. So, treating your study session like a business, but keeping it fun is a great way to make sure that this information stays committed. One of the things I love to do for studying is to break the chapters down to sections. So, in one of my advanced computer science classes, we have a section that, I should say, a chapter. It has many sections. How many sections does it have? Quite a bit. I think one section has like it's like so you have like chapter one, for example, had some sections, and so it breaks down into that one broke down into I think it was right around 15 sections. Now, chapter two actually breaks down into a lot more. Breaks down to like 24 sessions. So these are important things to understand. So, for example, maybe you're going to say that you're going to do maybe the first three sections on one day, then the next three sessions. It's always important to pre-read a little bit before you go into class, and also realize that sometimes your professor might not be that good of a teacher. Unfortunately, I've got to tell you that. In fact, the more that you get on with your life and the higher up in education you go, you're going to find that some of the teachers just don't want to teach. They just want to keep getting paid to do their research, but the universities require them to teach, which is why they do teach. So it's important to research your professor. There are sites you can go to, like one of them is called ratemyprofessor.com. You might know of that that site, I should say. And so ratemyprofessor.com is basically is a great site. And so you pick the site, and so you pick the name of your school. And so once you pick your school, then you basically can pick things about the school, right? So there's things like safety, location, facilities, reputation, happiness, opportunities, clubs, internet, social, foods. Okay. There's all different types of things. And so they have that. So you can review this on just ratemyprofessors.com. That's ratemyprofessors.com. And you can rate them based on reputation. There's lots of things you can do to rate. So first you rate the university. And you can rate the university based on reputation, location, opportunities, facilities, internet, food, clubs, social, happiness, safety, etc. And this is a great way, because no one's paying you to do this, and hopefully you're going to be honest with everyone. So there's some other things, like, for example, I'm not going to name the people's names, but one professor on here, for example, has a 3.3 of quality. So what does that mean? 3.3 out of 5. So for awesome, they have 34. For great, they have 27. For good, they have 13. For okay, they have 2. For awful, they have 22. So one of them was for credit. Attendance is mandatory. Would take again, yes. Person got a grade. It was a B minus. Textbook, yes. Online class, yes. Difficulty. While the lectures can be disorganized, his class is manageable if you stay on top of the material. The exam study guides are a lifesaver, and Unstuck AI proved useful for quiz and exam prep. Here's another one. Attendance not mandatory. Person got a D. Do not take him unless you want to be studying chemistry all day, every day. Kind of unorganized and very confusing in his lectures. Expects you to know things you don't. the best way to learn is to go to his office hours and to also watch YouTube. It's a slow grader and doesn't upload grades. Stay away from him. Socially awkward and a bit rude. Again, this is just right from the students. Here's one, and that person like I said, difficulty level 5. Here's one that gave him a 3 in chemistry. Attendance not mandatory, got an F. 4 core exams and 1 final exam. OMG. Plus 3 extra assignments. He took 2 exams in one day. Seriously, he is not for freshmen. I'm a freshman and he gave me an F. So, yeah, I know. Here's another one. Same person for chemistry, mandatory, grade was an F. This professor is the worst I've ever encountered. He lacks understanding of the material, writes gibberish, and delivers disorganized lectures. His endless, poorly designed tests make no sense, and he offers no helpful responses to questions. Avoid his class to save yourself unnecessary stress and frustration. Now, here's somebody that gave him a 3. So this one was pretty interesting that they gave him a 3. Attendance not mandatory. Grade was an A. Unclear grading, doesn't always grade based off of questions asked on exam or quiz. You have to guess in his labs because everything is disorganized. So, it's interesting to find, how other students rate their different, professors. It's very interesting to think. So this was one professor. Let me see if I can find another one. And this is all at just ratemyprofessors.com. And it's a free site. You can sign up. So you can come up at the top and you can pick what department you want. There's one here I'm going to pick for something there. I'm in computer science. This one, I'm not going to give you the person's name, but this one has a quality of a 3.5. 8 people said this person's awesome. 3 people said the person's great. There were 2 people said they're good. 4 said it's okay. 3 said the person was awful. For credit, yes, attendance is mandatory. Got a C+. Lecture heavy, yaps a lot, pretty tough class, hated it. Okay, here's another one. For credit, yes, attendance is mandatory. Would take again, yes, grade A, textbook not applicable. This person is very nice and can be helpful. She teaches from Zybooks Only, which is an online book system, and sometimes accepts late homework. She provides study guides for the exam, but her exams are in a lockdown browser. But you will pass with good grades if you study even a little. Okay, so important things to note there. Okay, here's another one. The person gave them a 1. They got a C. Professor such and such is a great person, nice and caring. However, she's not a great teacher. She does not know how to teach. You have to learn through the homework and in Zybooks yourself. She gives out paper midterm finals, and she also uses lockdown browser and 3 other teachers' aides in the room to make sure no one cheats. She also has a thick accent. I think they're trying to say they didn't spell that correctly. Another person, same person, took this course, says this class was difficult for an intro class, only cause the class was mainly heavy workload and test heavy. During lectures, she tried to explain concepts easily and is very understanding. So these are all like some that was all like freshmen. So if I jump into like say junior classes or senior classes, here's one. In attendance is mandatory for credit. Person is very caring and fair. She had a clear grading criteria and even offered 5% extra credit. During lectures, she encourages students to ask questions and tries her best to explain and draw out examples on a whiteboard. While getting an A is easy, truly understanding the material and learning was a challenge. Striking a nice balance is what I did. Here's another one. This person covers most material and assignments and exams through lectures and tries to explain things well, but also hard to understand from their accent. Very caring and helpful, wants you to succeed. Exams are semi-hard. As long as you complete assignments, take notes, and study well for your exams, you will be fine. So that's that one. Another one I want to look into. So these weren't master's courses. These were basically like freshman, sophomore, and junior courses. So I'm going to go now and I'm going to dive into computer science, and I'm going to dive into basically a class that's masters if they have. And it looks like, let's see if they have a master's class on here. I don't know if they have one. I'm looking. Um, can't really tell here from this. There's a lot of people rated. I mean, a lot of people that are rated here. Um, Here's one that took the class. Let's see if this is one that I'm thinking of. So this is okay, that's an entry level course. The only thing I don't like about Rate My Professor is that you can't just go find the course you want. So that's a big thing. Like, you pick the department that you want to be in. And once you're in the department that you want, like the subject area, and then you should be able to just pick, what class that you want. Here's somebody that got a 5.0. All 14 people gave this person an awesome. Level of difficulty was a 2.3. It was also a sophomore class. It was not a. So what I found with a lot of professors is that these master level courses, a lot of them just are not used to teaching. They kind of babble. And, it's one thing when you have to go home and study, okay? It's another thing when you have to actually go home and teach yourself the material. Like the classes don't leave you with anything. And it's not because you aren't smart, it's because the professors are disorganized. And a lot of times they just rattle and rattle and rattle and rattle. And they also don't realize the fact that if a class is 4 hours or more, we need a break, dude, every 5 hours, right? Every 2 hours, I should say. So these are some tips. Tomorrow, I'm going to summarize everything, and I'm going to give you a few more that I think are going to be very helpful to allowing you to have a very good study experience. So Zybooks is an online textbook, if you will, but it's not really a textbook, okay? And so there are some like quizzes and things like that, so that's helpful. But unfortunately, it's not it kind of skips things. It gives you an equation and it doesn't give you any explanation. So not really crazy about the book. It's only my first time using it. So again, working in a study group is really powerful. Um, Again, like I said, choose the right group of members. That's important. You don't want everybody in the group if they're not going to contribute and they're not going to be of value to everyone. And you want to make sure that when you have the study session, that you don't run the study session continuously. So I like to do something called Pomodoro time, as I've told you guys before. So what we do is we run it in 25-minute increments, then we take a 5-minute break. And this is the best thing you can do for studying, whether it's in a group or what have you. And you can also exercise using the eye techniques I shared with you about, remember, every 20 minutes, look at least 20 feet away for at least focusing on something for at least 20 seconds. So what I've learned in college as a beginning master's student is that you've got to figure the way to make it work. And I hope that this week's programming and tomorrow's program that I'm wrapping up with will not only give you, let's say, the tips, but will give you the encouragement, will give you the motivation that you can achieve these things. I mean, a lot of times, people don't learn because they become so overwhelmed. I think that is the biggest problem. And so when you break it down and you say, look, I want to just chunk it into like just this little piece, it's so much easier when you can do that. And if there's an area that's sticking with you, that's not sticking, I should say, well, go over it. There's no crime that says you can't go over it more than once. Go over whatever it is. And once you've gone over it, then you're able to move forward, right? And so another thing that I really like is that when you study, it's important to understand and also to enjoy the studying. Hopefully, those of you going for your master's or greater, like a PhD, you enjoy the topic area. And it's not that you don't want to learn is that you don't like the methods that are currently being employed at your school or your institution or your group. So if you really want to learn this information, then it's up to you to figure out how to learn it, right? Maybe going to YouTube, maybe looking at the topic of the chapter. And there's some other things we're going to talk about too tomorrow. But I think if you can just embrace that concept that you're not the only one that's going through this. Don't wait until the week before your midterm or the week before your final to say, oh, wow, I don't get this. And, we talked early in the week about how to stay awake. That's a real game changer. Now, you might say, gee, I'm not learning anything in the class, but I still think it's better to be awake in the class. You might pick up something. It might not be earth shattering, but you might pick up something, and it's your attitude, it's your belief that's going to put this all in motion. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always such a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you guys on these amazing mornings, afternoons, or evenings. I hope you'll like, love, and support the channel. Go to believemeachieve.com, and we'll catch you on another show real soon.